Welcome back to you for another most special and yummy update. Donald Trump has officially made a deal with President Winnie the Pooh. Congratulations, everybody. We've done it. What deal? Don't know. And I don't even care because we're already on to the new news cycle. We are moving away. In other news as well, what's been happening, friends? So Bitcoin thrusting back to 107,000 American dollars. We're in the skitsy range part. We need to hold longer. Oh, man, that's what she said. You know what I mean, man? It's been only 4.5 years. How much longer? I don't know, man. It's just whatever. This is the skitsy range zone. Here we are now. We're ready. We did the skitsy dump. Now we're back in here, and then we do the up only part. What happens after that? We'll have to wait and see. Many people think that the cycle's over. You know, crypto bandaroonies and blockchain backer and everyone. I'm not really thinking about these is the cycle over part yet because friends, I literally, everyone's channels, all they're saying is no alt season. No alt season, never, no alt season. This cycle's different, Bitcoin only, etc. Institutional demand, they're saying all these same words. Man, so you are literally like, this is how funny markets are, man. Markets are a funny thing. Altcoins are the cheapest they've ever been in history. They've been down for the longest period of time. They've round-tripped 8 years of gains against Bitcoin. So altcoins, I know there's a lot of scams. I know it looks dog shit. But, bro, what does Bitcoin do? Okay, forget altcoins. What does Bitcoin do? Nothing. You go, oh, it stores value. Oh, you literally just mean you buy it and you hope someone bids it up after you. That's how you're saying your definition of store of value is that someone else buys after you. Okay, I have Bitcoin, friends. Let's just be honest. It does nothing. It literally does nothing. It sits on a shelf. Okay, so altcoins retracing literally 8 years of gains against Bitcoin. Everyone's saying no, they should be here and they're never going to go up. That's what most people are saying. Do not listen to, there's a few of us on Twitter, friends, you got to understand, okay? You have an overrepresentation of people who are still here. Survivorship bias. It's not a real look at the whole crypto market. I've shown you the 200 million person crypto participant portfolio, okay? I've shown it to you a few days ago. 33% stablecoins. 33%. 30% Bitcoin, 8% Ethereum. That's right. 33. Their biggest portfolio allocation for the average investor. That's across everybody. That's institutions, big wallet, small wallet, everyone. The crypto portfolio right now, the highest allocation is in stablecoins, which is funny. Why is that funny, friends? Is it funny because I'm catching you with a Pokeball every single day? Maybe. It's funny because altcoins are the cheapest they've ever been in their history, and people have the highest percentage of risk-off allocation in crypto. So people have basically, if you add up, 64% allocation is risk-off. That's Bitcoin and stablecoins. Okay? Dog shit stablecoins, the ones that can't pump. So look at this, man. 7 red monthly candles in a row. Ouch, 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 ouch. Last time we did this was after a 100x rally, and then we went down again, okay? But you got the 100x rally part, bro. This is 100x on your USD, okay? This is like 15x on Bitcoin. Pop, there's 100x on USD. So, do you see, man, this is markets, yeah? They can remain irrational way longer than people can stay solvent, but we've pretty much hit the end of the road now, which is what we said 7 months ago as well. I have more yummy updates. Obviously, look, after hearing all these, what do you do? Look, you don't know what comes next. Remember, friends, the secret to markets, is it? Look, am I just another handsome, chiseled jaw face with peg nipples and a lion heart of belief? No, I'm not. These pointy elbows weren't sharpened yesterday. The secret to markets is positioning. I've told you this 50,000 times. There is a secret to markets, okay? It's not what's the news going to be, up or down. Bro, the news doesn't matter. It's all fugazi. What matters is how people are positioned. Okay, so I have a video here, friends. This is Uncle Bobby, continuing our yummy updates. Uncle Bobby has made a video, The Perfect Storm. Remember, we love Uncle Bobby. Uncle Bobby is bullish. Okay, just for transparency, so everyone knows, friends. Even Uncle Bobby, in all his bullishness, he sold a third of his Bitcoin down here. Okay, it scared a lot of people, right? You know, Donald Trump and thinking that stock market and everything's jittered. But man, it was wild. I mean, like if you check out where Uncle Bobby sold, you can put the S&P 500 on a monthly chart. He basically sold at the bottom of the wick. Bang. That's how scary it was. And we literally just went bang, up only, man. That was wild. That was Donald Pump. Okay, remember Donald Pump in all his brilliance. Okay, fixing the market after damaging it first. Uncle Bobby has his predictions for the cycle. Uncle Bobby is he's a cyclical trader. And obviously, why I give attention to Uncle Bobby is I like it. I like someone he's traded gold. He's had wisdom and experience trading golds in decades. And I just love seeing different perspectives, right? It's cool to see these be put together. Now, Uncle Bobby has two lines here, two sets of lines. The first one is a traditional 4-year cycle. So if you check it out, it's pretty much now. Don't give too much weight to the actual prices, okay? Because if you look, it's around 210, and then it comes back to about 80 or a bit 80. So you and I, in a very family-friendly, non-transphobic way, we're going to go look at the Bitcoin price chart, otherwise known as the Bitcoin, and we're going to go see, okay, where would a $200,000 BTC take us? About how? And then where would a drop by the end of 2026, Dikemba, if it came back around here, maybe, poked a low, what would that look like? Beep, 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 beep. What would that look like? Okay, remember, this is bear market. It's not like, oh, this thing looks bad. Yeah, but you're meant to be buying all the capitulations here of all the Bitcoin treasury bubble collapses, and then you're probably going to get that mean reversion, just like 2019. So if you're curious as well, if this actually happened, you can draw a fib from the top to the bottom. Bitcoin would probably come back and surprise us in Donald Trump's 2027 ish. 2027, or Donald Trump's literally right before he's finished. He might come back and do a retrace up here and then come back down. All right. By the way, that chart pattern, very familiar. Where is that from? There you go. That was literally the cycle I came in, which is a Donald Trump cycle, but nobody sees that as a Donald Trump cycle because he didn't like Bitcoin or anything back then. You see that? See, Bitcoin does a blow off and then skits down, right? Capitulations here, and then it actually, check it out. Where did Bitcoin come? Do you remember, Matt? Do you remember when we all got crushed? We were short Bitcoin. We kept shorting on the way up. We were scalping. Good times. You can't short this thing on the way up, brother. Here's when I first came in, friends. It's funny. Don't look, we're scalping. There's stops and everything. You know what I mean? But look what it came up to, friends. It literally came up to the fib, right? Bang. Came up to the 61.8 and 71% retrace. The Fibonacci. It came up to this zone here. Okay, so. You see how these things like they repeat themselves. If I go back and I show you Uncle Bobby's chart pattern here, or what he believes, we're just guessing, right? If Bitcoin really does get to like 210 and it dropped down, remember this is like a shallow 65 to 67% drop. Yes, that could happen. The thing though is, it feels like it's not going to stop at that 210. All right, that's why I feel like I just don't think we're going to get a nice, simple, Bitcoin's just only going to drop 62%. It seems too easy for me because you have so much bubble stuff going on, friends. Think about it, like we're going for the gargantuan, the big amount of grifting, Ripple IPO, Tron IPO, right? All of these, bro, like why are you going to the stock markets? Because you want the normies to binges so you can get out and cash out. All right. That's why I really hope that Bitcoin doesn't stop at like that 200. I hope it goes more like towards a 280 with a blow off. And then if it comes back down to the 75, whatever, that's about, like a 73, 74% drop. Now pretty much we're splitting hairs here, aren't we? The good thing is we just go up. That's why I wanted to show you Uncle Bobby giving you a very juicy and yummy update. And now I'll return it here for you. So that's his first standard 4-year cycle. The other one is there is a possibility that we don't get that. And here is the alternative. I'll just show you. So there is one. So this one ends in, I guess, Dikemba this year. The blue line is an alternative where we finish in Q1 of 2026. But you might say, oh, but just calm your nipples down. Remember, Bitcoin tops out before the altcoins. So that's what happened, remember, in 2017 as well. Bitcoin topped out December 2017 at 20,000. And then a month later, altcoins topped out. Okay, now you don't know they top out. There's no sign. Like they go up a lot and you're like, oh, you've gone up a lot. But you don't think, oh, you've topped. You think, oh, wow, you're rising up a lot. I wonder what happens next month. That's what it looks like, okay? That's once again, friends, I just got to refer to you back to this cycle. Let me just show you the chart here before we get any racism accusations. This is Bitcoin in the December 2017. See, it peaks up here. Here you have the CME launch. That's why, man, please, Nasdaq, please list the crypto tokens, bro. Give us the crypto index. Please. Exotic top signal. Please. You know, if they do that, it literally will be the ghost spirit fractal of CME returning to list the token so they can short the shit out of everything, right? Institutions can come get short on it. But it's not really the institutions that happen. Remember, it's not about, oh, now they can get short. It's not about that. It's the fact that the asset is now so universally accepted by everybody, which means everybody's in, that it's now able to get listed there, okay? It's not that the listing per self sends it down. It's the emotion and the confidence behind the listing that shows it's near a top, or you're running out of buyers, right? So remember, Bitcoin comes up here, altcoins top out here. So Bitcoin comes back down, and then this is it. This is literally the peak of the alt season right here. I know there's a weekly chart. So Bitcoin comes up here. This is the 61.8 retrace of this whole move. Bang. And there you go. And also still here, friends, EOS and stuff was launching. So as Bitcoin was like kind of grinding, it was like collapsing down, but like it had a blow off, right? It just did a freaking 100x from the bottom to the top in that cycle. There were still alt seasons and coins and IPOs, and like it was basically the euthanasia roller coaster on the way down. So Uncle Bobby in this blue line, remember this one is December. This one is somewhere Q1 next year. So it could be like, you know, January, February, March. Now, why that's interesting is, remember, major loser Jerome Powell, who's a major loser, too late, they call him. Remember, he's getting fired next year, May 2026. Okay? So, he's going to get a replacement. Donald Pump, right? They probably got one of the karaoke rooms booked out, enjoying some nice Korean barbecue. Probably doing drugs in the bathroom, as you do, right? And he's been interviewing his replacement for major loser Jerome Powell. So he doesn't want a major loser. He's looking for a major winner. So obviously, the 3 to 5 people he's looking at, they're going to be doves. Okay, so they're going to be doves. Remember, hawks. That's when you're being a CUNT. That's major loser Jerome Powell. When you're like, yeah, I only hike on Donald Trump. I don't want to cut rates for him. That's major loser Jerome Powell. He cut rates for Joe Biden. Literally, almost pretty much, you know, pedo fillet president. That's funny. So now we're looking at a dove replacement. But, you know, in the context of markets, you know, the nature of markets, the secret to markets is positioning. It's very likely, but we don't know yet, but it's very likely the market will position for a dovish Fed replacement. Which means, if we get up here, right, this part, Q1, if we do top out January, February, March, remember, let's say Bitcoin does top out January, February, right? And then it stops. And then the month after will be the altcoin peak. You got to think about that. That's very close to May next year. You know, so anywhere from like if alt season happens anyway from January, February, March, April, you know, somewhere there. Or you never know, man. It might literally top out on May. Don't know. But that, the shift upwards, that would be the market positioning, there's the P word again, for a dovish Fed replacement. And then we might find, as the Fed guy comes in, and he actually starts doing his talk of, oh, you know, we should cut rates. We should stimulate a bit here and there. Altcoins don't respond with the sugar rush anymore. We might find something like that. So we're always just one step ahead. That's all. The good thing is we're not there yet. right? We've got a while to go. But if you notice, you go, but Summy, but what is this part? Excuse me. This is, look, I really want it to happen. It feels like fan fiction. It's where we get a shorter bear market and then we go up only. But I know you got to draw these cycles because of like they're saying, oh, institutional demand and things are different. It's a possibility. I don't want to bet on that. You don't either. Okay. Because by the way, like here's the thing. They both bottom out in December of next year anyway. So, whether you're buying Bitcoin at, $70,000 or up here, 130, it doesn't matter. The timing's the same. It's a 4-year cycle rotational, right? So I think it's also very important. Okay. We go through what we're looking at, but we don't have anything to worry about because like obviously, look, we do as in terms of, oh, where's the green candles? Got nothing to worry about because like we've only got strong hands left. And we are waiting for the weak hands to enter. That's why I've given you exotic top signal list. Things that'll show us there's a lot of weak hands that have dispersed, right? Now you just got to remember, keep a mental note. Okay, look, how many people are in crypto? I think it's about 400 or 500 million in the world, okay? Let's say there's 100 million retailers out there that are going to enter. Let's say there's a pool of 100 million people that are coming in the future, yeah? Now, when they come in, you don't know what they're going to buy. No one knows what they're all going to buy. They don't even know what they're going to buy. It's chaotic and it's random. Okay? So when I talk to you about, maybe Coinbase App Store rankings #1. Maybe we have a $1 billion public ICO raise. Maybe Tai Lopez is back. When all the exotic top signals are like pretty much they're ticked off. Yeah, and maybe the MicroStrategy premium, the NAV goes to 0 and it starts going negative. As those are like basically happening, that's a sign that, there's 100 million people, they don't all come in at once. So, because remember friends, retailers, they just keep losing on average. They do. Because they get in, they lose. They get in, they lose. They get in, they lose. But then there's a bonus feature round. They get in and they win fast. Now, when they win fast, you got to think about it. So there's 100 million people. The first 10 million people win. They win fast. They tell the next 30 million to 20 million people who also join with them, and then they win again. And when they win, right, remember you've got like 30 to 50 million people in, and then they get all so excited that they keep winning that the final 50 million, that's literally now Grandma Peggy, and Grandpa Pegathan, right? So all of these start happening and they all come in, and that's a sign that all those 100 million people are now exhausted in terms of they've now allocated. They all have like, an average of maybe like, $6,500, whatever the average allocation is. Yeah. The thing is though, it's tough to deal with because there's 100 million people. Whatever they choose is whatever they choose. That's why they say you take whatever the market gives you. Yeah, because we're all taking bets, right? So that's why it's tough because a lot of people don't want to admit that, maybe they've all allocated their money and whatever price we see is the expensive price. No one. That's why nobody sold in 2021. That's why no one sold in 2021. Most people did not. Because they're like, wait a minute, this is not expensive. Yeah, it is. It is expensive. Okay. That's why you can't. That's why I also tell you, the market doesn't give a shit about your returns, man. It doesn't care if like you're only up a 6x from the bottom. It doesn't care. If there's euphoria out there, it means all those buyers are in. You got it? I mean, like, and even if like it's an institutional crypto cycle, they're not coming to go bid, altcoin number 58, they'll just have a bid on Bitcoin anyway, which we know altcoins will bleed out. More interesting information here for you to remind you. Bitcoin on its monthly chart. So something we learned that I learned here with you, right? This is a very interesting thing. No one in crypto talks about this. That's why you watch me. Highest value content in crypto. Press like, press subscribe. Let's go. Last year in the Bitcoin halving year, Bitcoin did 3 red monthly candles. You see that? But look at this. It did 3 red monthly candles, and it's kind of crazy, right? From close to close, it basically didn't go anywhere. Look at this. It came back to like, look how much it was down only. I mean, check this out, right? It was only down 16%. From the start of the open of the first red to the bottom of the third red. It's only down 17%. That's nothing, man. It's literally nothing. 10%. That's nothing in crypto, bro, right? I'm going to now show you something in a very family-friendly way. If we go back to 2016, which you remember, friends, it was the year after 2017. Here is the year 2016. Let's count the red monthly candles of the year. You have January, March, July, August. So I had 4 red monthly candles. If we go into 2020, check this out again. 2020 had 1, 2, 3, 4 red monthly candles. Okay? And if you look at 2012, it only had 2. So what I'm showing you is 2024, which was last year. You remember that year? You had a Bitcoin ETF. You had Donald Trump, a president, saying, I like the crypto. I like the Bitcoin. You had all these narratives that we all thought, everyone thinks, oh, they're so unique to me. I'm a special little snowflake. Wow, look at me. My Pokemon never needs a healing potion. I'll never get hit. Okay? Very naive. Well, it turns out it was a stock standard Bitcoin halving year in terms of like how many ups and downs. It was right in between, wasn't it? That's crazy, yeah? Because you had one of the Bitcoin halving years, 2012, there were 2 red monthly candles, and then the other 2 were 4. So you had 2, 4, 4. What did we get? Bang in the middle, 3. We got 3 red monthly candles. It's literally like exactly where we should be. But when we had these 3 red monthly candles, what happened to altcoins here? They got obliterated. Bitcoin was only down 17%. All the altcoins were down 70 to 85% in that period of time. So that's the inherent risk with altcoins. The inherent risk with altcoins, as you've now discovered, I'll summarize it for you. It's not that Bitcoin will go down a price percentage. That's not the risk. The risk is that Bitcoin just has a red month. That's it. That's how risky it is. Okay? So it's sad though, because like if I told you, let's say before 2024 played out, if I told you Bitcoin's 3 red monthly candles look like this, the price doesn't go anywhere, you're going to probably assume with me incorrectly before the year plays out that altcoins are going to be great and everything's going to be good. Wrong. Nope. You had 3 red monthly candles and you got destroyed anyway. So in the context of that, you got to remember, in our bear markets, Bitcoin does 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, around 9 red months. It does it in the bear market year. Let's check how much it did in 2022. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yeah, it's about, I think it was mostly 8, around 8 to 9. Pretty much, if you want a formula, you start buying on the 8th red monthly candle. So yeah, it is possible, friends, that Bitcoin is shallow, where it doesn't actually, maybe it doesn't blow up. Maybe it goes to 200 and then it comes back down. Oh, we've only dropped like, 67%. It doesn't matter. There will probably be like 8 red monthly candles in there. And the price is not moving that much percentage-wise, but the fact that you got red candles means the risk part of the curve is getting thrown out. Okay? So after seeing all that, and so I want to give you the context of Uncle Bobby and the cycle talk and our updates, you see that the percentages are moving, but the color of the candle is actually what's more important. And it makes sense, right? Because with us humans, right, we don't compute numbers really well in our head. Okay, all we know is dopamine up, dopamine down. That's all we know. Yeah, that's actually inherent. That's built into us. If there's a green monthly candle, we're like, oh, things are getting better. If there's a red monthly candle, things are getting worse. Yeah, that's why, like, for example, your brain can't tell the difference between if I make you, say, you made $1 million but then there's like 5 red months in a row that goes down to $500,000. Yeah. Compare that to if you made $100 million and you're holding and you're used to it, you get the dopamine hit, and then you also have 5 red months in a row and you go down to 50 million. Right? So you've changed the zeros and stuff, but it doesn't really matter. You're going through that same cyclical path. Okay. And that's actually reflected in prices and the emotional swing of crypto investors. So we're still on the right path. Wherever we land is outside of our control. And before we even talk about, tops and all this other stuff, like this OTHERS-BTC has to crank the other way. So there you go, friends. Let me know what you think. Press like and subscribe. Press the belly button and press all. Catch you soon.